The voice in the rainforest knew things only dead people should know. It called my name using my dead mother's voice. Dr. Aris Thorne, however, believed supernatural claims could be explained through fear and language. He organized the expedition after 3 hikers vanished near the northern trails. A jagged waveform morphs into the symmetrical frequencies of human speech. These were voices belonging to relatives who had died years earlier, communicating with impossible accuracy. Thorne spent his career categorizing phonemes and syntax, yet these recordings defied his every metric. Every inflection was authentic, but the speakers were ashes and dust. He was staring at verifiable data that his scientific framework insisted could not exist. Local tribes spoke of an entity they called the listener beneath the leaves. In their stories, this was a presence woven into the very root systems and soil of the Hoh Rainforest. The creature used mimicry for a permanent purpose, the systematic theft of human identity. It learned the voices of the living to replace them entirely. Thorne assembled a team of 6 researchers, audio specialists, and survival experts. They entered the canopy prepared for a search and rescue mission, unaware they were providing the entity with new subjects to study. Field biologist Lena Vale felt the shift the moment they moved off the trail. The silence was heavy and watchful, giving the team the distinct impression that the forest was cataloging their every word. Thorne's team focused on physical survival, yet they were entering an environment designed for the slow erasure of the self. As the team descended into the deep canopy, the environment behaved like a corrupted audio file. Bird calls repeated with a fixed microsecond delay, and gnarled branches creaked in a rhythmic, mechanical pattern that mimicked the cadence of human speech. The forest was learning. On the 3rd night, a woman's crying echoed from the fog. Lena froze. She recognized the exact tone and pitch of her sister, who had drowned years ago. Suddenly, every recorder in the camp activated at once. They played dozens of overlapping voices, dead relatives, lost friends, and names Thorne hadn't heard in decades, all whispering from the equipment simultaneously. The forest was using profound grief to bypass the team's logic. By forcing them to engage with the dead, the canopy was stripping away their psychological defenses. The next morning, a researcher named Cole was gone. He left no tracks and no signs of a struggle. Only his boots remained by the tree line, pointing in the wrong direction. The erasure immediately extended to their photographic records. On every digital screen, Cole's face had become a warped, unidentifiable smudge, as if reality itself was scrubbing him from the frame. The crew realized they could no longer recall Cole's voice or picture his features. Even as they looked at his empty gear, the memory of his existence was dissolving. Every time a survivor hears a stolen voice, a piece of their history is deleted. The mind's memory network collapses as the psychological connection points fail, leaving the victim's past completely hollow. The canopy targeted something deeper than physical survival. It was rewriting the timeline of human history, piece by piece, until its victims were completely and entirely forgotten. As the forest's efforts to absorb the team intensified, it began to secrete a thick, oily black rain. This substance acted as a physical catalyst for the erasure, scrubbing memories away the moment it touched bare skin. The cognitive breakdown was instantaneous. One crew member lost the ability to speak entirely, while another screamed, unable to recognize their faces as human. Hanging from the canopy were thousands of weather-beaten cassette tapes. Each tape was labeled with a human name, a catalog of every identity the forest had already consumed. Aris spoke continuously into his recorder, desperately reciting his name and history to preserve his vanishing self. The effort was futile. The entity had already compromised his tools. turning his own recordings into another channel for its million-voice chorus. When Aris played back his tape, his own voice was gone. A deep, ancient resonance whispered through the speaker, informing him that his memories now belonged to the trees. Above them, the forest ceiling finally split apart. It revealed a miles-wide nervous system of roots and vines that stretched across the entire region, a colossal organic processor. Human skulls and chattering teeth were embedded in the bark, fused seamlessly into the wood grain to act as speakers for the entity's collective mind. Lena backed away from Aris, her eyes vacant and fearful. She treated him as a total stranger who had never existed. He had been deleted from her mind entirely. Aris looked at his own hands, unable to remember his own childhood or his own face. From the canopy above, his own voice whispered back to him, asking, "Who is Aris Thorne?" as he was finally absorbed into